You may now begin your presentation.
My name is Hao Hu, and I am from Taiwan.
My name is Taimi Kennerly, and I am from New Zealand.
My name is Scott Fisher. I am un hijo de una hondureña.
My name is Catherine Christensen, and I am from Idaho.
My name is Kevin Hendrickson from Arizona.
Aloha! When a disabled little girl in Laie, Hawaii, named Katie, was looking for hope and meaning in her life, our project manager, Michael D. Guzman, initiated a program called Shine Bright, a project that connects special needs children with their passions to create a sustainable financial future. Our team worked to respond to her call and those of 25 other disabled children in our community.
When the campus store supporting 1,600 students in Kahuku, Hawaii was struggling to stay in business, our team worked with the manager, Soraya, to not only save the store, but help grow it by opening a second store nearby at the Polynesian Cultural Center that is projected to generate $120,000 in its first year of operations. Now, profits will continue funding valuable student scholarships. We've changed their lives.
We are ENactus at Brigham Young University, Hawaii. Together, we aim to achieve one goal: to use entrepreneurial action to create a positive impact in the lives of others. This year, our projects will stay close within the borders of our own community and stretch as far as West Africa. Our student body is comprised of young men and women from 79 countries. It is a melting pot of ideas and cultures, and we strive to capitalize on this incredible diversity.
On campus, we find many unique skills, experiences, and perspectives not taught in a classroom, but learned in the cities, towns, and villages that our students and faculty represent. Our inspiration is international. To us, these projects represent more than a way to pass time. They represent our views, our vision, and we believe Gandhi when he said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." This year, we implemented 7 projects, but we'd like to highlight the work we've done in the Ivory Coast.
In 2012, Kone joined our ENactus team with a simple and a clear objective: fight child slavery and the poverty that causes it. Empowered by ENactus, Kone developed an initiative called Well Africa. His passion and determination have enabled us to plan and execute projects that impacted 35,000 directly and 2.5 million indirectly.
After starting Well Africa, Kone describes his first experience back to his home country as being more difficult yet more powerful than ever anticipated. He fought back tears as he visited the farms and saw children as young as 6 years old working there. He saw himself. He remembered his own dream when he was their age, to go to school. He felt deeply and personally the pain of their own unrealized dreams. This journey would bring tears yet again when the machetes in the hands of these children were to be replaced with books and pens.
After 18 months spent engaging with local farmers on the issue of child slavery and getting government and community support, we built a school where 300 children started attending in September 2014.
While starting the school was an important step, we also recognized from the beginning that in order to effectively address the issues these children faced, we had to look at the big picture. We had to come up with a comprehensive solution for the whole community, rather than a one-time project for one segment of the population.
The rest of our report will focus on how we've enhanced and leveraged the livelihood assets of the community, taking some from the darkness of poverty and hopelessness to a world full of promise and opportunity, where they now yield greater control over their own destinies.
What generally comes to your mind when you hear the word Africa?
Diseases, famine, war, people always in need. Sadly, this is not entirely wrong, and the most vulnerable are often women and children.
Christiane is a single mother with 4 small children. She's never been to school, nor does she know how to read or write. After the death of her husband, she was left with very few alternatives to take care of her family.
She is a prototypical African woman confined to the unique role of giving birth. She was married at age 15 with the rest of her story basically written for her. Similarly, thousands of other women are confined to this life they have not chosen. What they experience is still the rule rather than the exception. In sub-Saharan Africa, approximately half of the population still lives below the poverty line, and more than 80% of them are women.
$300 billion in foreign aid has been transferred to Africa since 1970 to help women like Christiane. Yet, the severe struggles and lack of progress persist. In all this, we saw an opportunity to take action.
Designed to empower women like Christiane and others, we launched the Women Empowerment Program, or WEP, in order to offer them the means that will generate the resources needed that feed their families instead of sending their children to work. Inspired by the model built in rural Bangladesh by Professor Muhammad Yunus, 2006 Nobel Prize winner, we decided to implement the microfinance concept.
250 women were surveyed to determine the reasons why many of them were stuck in poverty. And then we gauged the possibilities of changing their lives for the better.
The survey revealed that many of these women had the desire to start a farm or a small business. They already had the entrepreneurial mindset, but they lacked the capital to achieve their dreams. As we were entering into the execution phase, we ran into a big challenge. The women were not organized, nor united in their success as a community.
In order to implement a sustainable long-term program, we brought them together using the cooperative model. With the structure of the co-op in place, we introduced the microloan program. Its success hung upon these two key principles: the training we provided and the relationship of trust between us and the co-op. We divided the women into groups of 5, depending on compatibility. We encouraged the leaders to charge a $10 membership fee per member as a way to ensure commitment. In addition, we challenged them to save whatever money they could come up with and promised we would match it.
Within each group of 5, we set up a few restrictions. Only 2 women at a time would receive a microloan. The women next in line would not receive a loan until one of the original loans had been paid off with the 10% interest. The peer pressure would help the women stay on time with their payments, and the interest on the loan, it would go back into the fund to help it grow on its own.
We visited our co-op last December to evaluate the impact we brought. What we found on the ground was astonishing. All 250 women we had surveyed and trained had joined the co-op and paid the suggested $10 membership fee. They responded in a big way to our challenge. Their determination enabled them to raise $5,000 on their own. As promised, our team matched their $5,000 with our own $5,000, creating an initial fund of $10,000.
These women went the extra mile by creating a farm that belongs exclusively to the co-op. Their goal is to generate additional money for those who would potentially struggle with repaying their loans.
As planned, 50 women each received a $150 loan. For Christiane, this was the first time she had been entrusted with that much money. 30 of these women decided to invest in their own small businesses. The other 20 investing in farming activities, growing peanuts, chili peppers, and tomatoes. Because of these strong women, the village now has its first ever marketplace, bringing opportunities never had before.
To ease money transactions and diminish the need for farmers to carry large amounts of cash, we gave leaders of the co-op cell phones, which offered them access to mobile banking conveniences. To date, we have seen a repayment rate of close to 60%.
Christiane is happy. Her children start attending a local school and she runs her own business. Like her, 49 other women are realizing their dreams and 200 more are waiting for their turn to knock on Web's door of opportunity.
We knew one thing: our plan would not be sustainable unless we provided a way for cacao farmers to better their situation as well.
Based on the research we conducted, we learned that the average farmer loses about 40% of his production potential because he struggles to maintain his farm and manage his cash flow. These farmers are providing one of the world's most appreciated commodities, cocoa. Cocoa is the main ingredient used to make chocolate. The Ivory Coast, our area of focus, is the world's largest producer with over 35% of worldwide production. On the consumer side, we enjoy chocolate and can hardly live without. In the US alone, more than 58 million pounds of chocolate candy were sold during Valentine's Week in 2012.
However, there was one issue we recognized: supply shortages. The demand for these precious beans is skyrocketing. Economic powerhouse countries such as China and India are increasing their consumption by an average of 13% every year. Analysts are predicting a shortage of about 1 million tons of beans by 2020.
Lewis, a local farmer, shared with us the challenges that he faces on a day-to-day basis. He inherited his farm after his father died. Lewis battles the cost of fertilizer, the conditions of the road, and the low productivity of his farm. Like him, 800,000 other farmers face the same situation. We wanted to help.
Our response? Cacaonomics, a platform designed to train, empower, and equip small farmers with tools they can use to increase productivity and improve their livelihood.
We started by teaching the art of beekeeping to 40 farmers. We encouraged them to share their knowledge with others. Now, our farmers are not only producing their own honey, but can count on the bees to pollinate their cocoa. We then tackled the road problem in our village by leveraging the human, natural, and physical assets available. The purpose being, help the farmers realize they can do anything themselves.
Finally, under the direction of our project leader, Brian Ezekiel, a senior in biochemistry, we researched on the solution which will reduce farmers' dependency on expensive fertilizer. The answer? Use the millions of tons of cocoa husks wasted every year to make fertilizer. However, the process needed to be cheap and easily repeatable for small local farmers.
The protocol we developed is as follows. First, dry the husks under the sun on a flat surface. Second, grind the husks to a fine powder. Third, mix fertilizer and powder on a 50-50 ratio basis. Mixing the fertilizer and powder, we were able to cut down use of fertilizer by 50%.
We tested the fertilizer alone, the compost alone, and the 50-50 mix of fertilizer and compost on bean plants. We monitored these plants for a period of 2 months. The 50-50 mixture appeared to be the most effective, growing 2 times faster than the others.
With these results, we were now ready to reach out to farmers like Lewis so that they could have access to a technology that would enable them to reduce waste and expenses at the same time. 3,000 farmers in 10 co-ops now have additional disposable income that they can allocate elsewhere. The villages have been cleaned up as the ubiquitous cocoa husks are used in recycling and compost.
Many of the people of the village are better off now than 3 years prior. However, there was one issue we recognized that could endanger the progress we were making: malaria, one of the deadliest diseases in human history. September 2014 will always be remembered in our village. 5 children died of malaria, leaving their families devastated and heartbroken. Even worse, almost 2/3 of the children of the village were infected. It was hard to find the right words to comfort a woman like our friend Vivian, who had just lost her 6-year-old son.
Malaria, a parasitic disease transferred by mosquitoes that claims the life of 1 child every 30 seconds. 300 million people are infected annually, and 1 million of them die. Sub-Saharan Africa accounts for 90% of those deaths. To put into perspective, this is the same as the entire population of San Francisco or Detroit.
How do you use entrepreneurial actions to solve a health problem like malaria? We had to be creative.
The people in the village already had mosquito nets and other resources to help fight against the disease, but it was not enough. We needed something that would reduce the rate of infection, not just the ability to care for those already sick.
Our response? A mosquito control strategy known as biocontrol. Using fish, in this case tilapia, we could manage the population of mosquitoes and reduce their damage on human health by 94%.
We went to work. We joined the community, and together we built fishing ponds holding tilapia. The first positive signs appeared immediately. Since its installation in the village, no child has died. We continued to educate the villagers to prevent another outbreak.
The pond also created an economic benefit that no one really anticipated. The villagers could harvest and sell a portion of the fish, generating about $5,000 in revenue. Furthermore, to ensure the long-term sustainability of the project, we created a fund that will support those who are still suffering from the disease to get adequate treatment. The project has been named Rollback Malaria.
Our effort and work have gained recognition and respect not only by Ivory Coast government officials, but by national media. Such media coverage inspired the whole Ivory Coast. We are now ready to use our model in new locations as well.
This year, our team built a school where 300 former child laborers are now receiving their education. We trained, equipped, and organized a co-op through which 250 women are now applying key business principles that helped increase their economic production. We implemented a microfinance institution that helped create 50 new businesses with funds of $10,000 that were gathered in 6 months.
Through Cacaonomics, 3,000 farmers collectively saved $225,000, and 40 more adopted beekeeping as a way to diversify revenue. We responded to the malaria outbreak in our village, possibly saving 100 children in the process. The fishing ponds will now provide the village with a continuous income.
Where others see challenge, we see opportunity. While others fear failure, we fear never having tried. When others dwell on what is not, we dwell on what can be, what should be, what must be. And then we act, turning ideas into action, action into progress.
We are ENactus, Brigham Young University, Hawaii.
Thank you, Brigham Young University, Hawaii. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
You've certainly accomplished a lot. Can you please share with us what role partners had in the work that you did this year?
Yeah, like we said, we've partnered with several organizations on campus for our research on the fertilizer. We partner with our biochemistry department, and in the Ivory Coast, we partner also with the government. Just one example of that partnership is the school we built. One of the biggest expenses of running a school is paying for the teachers. So we partnered with the government, we built the school, the government provided for 6 teachers that they're paying themselves, removing from us that expense.
On the rollback malaria program, do you have a business plan for selling the fish? And the second part of that question is, who's operating it and how many people?
Like we said, the number one thing of our team is sustainability and transfer of knowledge and technology. So the villagers are the ones that are operating the fishing pond because we taught them how to do it and to replicate the model. Does that answer your question?
Congratulations on the WEP program. I'm curious to see what you're doing to ensure the sustainability of the program and that participation doesn't drop off.
So to ensure the sustainability of the WEP program, we did actually 2 key elements. We charge a $10, we encourage them to charge a $10 membership fee. And we told them to actually save $5,000, I mean, whatever money they can save on their own, and we matched it. So the co-op and the microfinance belong to both of us. The villagers, the women, with 50% equity, and us, 50% equity. And that created a condition in which we value their commitment. And we believe that this will be the key for the sustainability of this project. And again, the 10% interest rate that we charge is meant to return back to the fund to help it grow on its own so we don't have to put money again and again.
And the interest that we are waiting to get back, the 60% has come from those 30 women who invested in small businesses. And the other 40% are coming from the 20 women who invested in farming. So once they have their harvest, they will be paying us back their loan as well.
In addition to that, the leaders of the co-op have also created a farm. So if any woman defaults on her loan, They have a farm that can provide the funds to pay for that loan that was defaulted.
Going forward, how do you manage these wonderful projects in Africa all the way from Hawaii?
So we have several ways of doing it. All of us are trained project managers, so we understand how it functions through our our legacy project in the box, and we use the technology available in the world today. We have Skype, we have Facebook, we have cell phones that we could use to monitor the progress that these people are making. And on top of that, we organize our team, travel on site 2 times a year to verify, teach, and encourage the people that we're helping. Because we have one thing in our mind. We don't want these people to depend on us, emotionally, financially, and physically. So we make sure that we transfer the knowledge and technology we created to help them so they can help themselves in the future.
We understand that there haven't been any new instances of malaria reported this year. Can you give us any more information that would lead us to conclude that that was clearly a result of your work and that that will be sustainable?
So the project we had, before we built the fish pond, we have 200 kids in our village. 80 of them were sick, 5 of them died. After we built the fish pond, we have 0 sickness, 0 deaths for the past 6 months. That's our impact and result for the whole project.
Can you explain the $1,875,000 in the road, Cocoa Road?
Yes, it's an economic benefit that this...
Sorry, the question and answer time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking Brigham Young University Hawaii ENactus team. We will now take a short 10-minute break. All judges should be seated at the end of the 10 minutes so that we may resume the presentations.